Imagine a civilization so powerful it ruled the known world. Its legions marched across continents, its cities were marvels of engineering, and its influence stretched far and wide. Then, in the blink of an eye, it all crumbled into dust. The fall of ancient Rome didn't just end an empire, it reshaped the course of history. But how did this collapse affect you and me, even thousands of years later? Let's find out. Introduction to Rome's glory. At its peak, the Roman Empire was a marvel. It controlled vast territories from Britain to Egypt, from Spain to Mesopotamia. Roman roads connected distant lands, and Roman law governed millions. The empire was rich in resources, grain from Egypt, silver from Spain, and the engineering marvels that still influence us today, like aqueducts, baths, and colosseums. But in 476 AD, it all came crashing down. The question is, was this fall sudden and violent, or was it the slow result of a crumbling empire, a victim of its own success? Causes of the collapse. Historians have long debated what caused the fall of Rome. Some argue it was the relentless invasions by barbarian tribes, like the Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns, who tore through Roman defenses like a hot knife through butter. The sack of Rome in 410 AD by the Visigoth king Alaric marked a turning point, but it wasn't the end. Others argue that internal factors were just as critical. Corruption, weak leadership, and an ever-growing reliance on mercenaries rather than loyal Roman soldiers. Additionally, economic turmoil, high taxes, and inflation drained the empire's resources. Was it one of these factors, or a combination of them? Let's dive deeper into each of these causes to see how they contributed to the empire's downfall. Barbarian invasions. The invasions were catastrophic, but did they truly cause Rome's fall? While they certainly weakened the empire, they were not the sole cause. In fact, by the time the Huns attacked Rome, much of the Roman infrastructure had already been eroded by internal conflicts. The Goths, Vandals, and other tribes had been raiding Roman territory for decades, but the empire's decline began long before these invasions reached their peak. Internal decay. Rome's internal decay was perhaps the most insidious force at work. Corruption ran rampant in the government, with senators and emperors more interested in personal wealth than the welfare of the empire. Political instability became commonplace, and power shifted frequently from one emperor to another, weakening the empire's ability to defend itself. Meanwhile, the economic system was in shambles, with widespread inflation and crippling taxation, making life harder for the average Roman citizen. Immediate impact of the fall. When the Roman Empire fell in 476 AD, the immediate effects were devastating. Europe was plunged into what historians call the Dark Ages. Trade routes were disrupted, cities were abandoned, and much of the Roman knowledge in science, architecture, and governance was lost. Learning and education took a severe hit, and for centuries, the advancement that the Romans had achieved was stifled. But not everywhere was in decline. While Europe struggled to find its footing, other parts of the world were thriving. Subscribe for more parts. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.